life without fun?
Life is ultimately meaningless.
What's radio without something extra?
Did a full 180.
Jiggy, fun, and hilarious on the go with Olije. Weekdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Exclusive to Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
Get ready.
Let's get extra!
Extra, read all about it.
Attention! Turn your speakers up.
The music is lit.
Oh, yeah, take all my money, put them for your head,
Guess who's in town? We are the new sound of music.
Eagles 102.3.
Trending now.
It's the bomb, yo. Wake up and don't sleep on a bicycle.
Next. This is Eagles Morning Rise, where you get inspired,
Updated,
talk sports, and discuss topical national issues. All served hot, like coffee. Yummy.
This is gonna be the best day of my life.
Eagles Morning Rise with
Natural Prince.
6 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
Every weekday on your number one radio experience. You can count on Eagles 102.3 FM.
Good morning again. Thank you so much for keeping your dials locked on your radio experience. You can count on. Big apologies. We're starting the program Eagles Outlook a little behind schedules because we've been trying to get across to our guest, Dr. Eunice Tanko, who should be joining us this morning. He's been unable to get across to him. But we would continue the conversation this morning. Nigeria at 61. We want to assess our journey as a nation. This morning we had a presidential speech, a presidential address from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. And in that address, he mentioned quite a lot of things. But then Nigeria as a nation has experienced several difficult situations. A nation that after independence, just about 6 years after independence, was thrown into a civil war arising from push and counter push, or coups and counter coups as we have it. And right after that, a military incursion or a military interruption that lasted several years. We returned to democracy in the Fourth Republic in 1999, and since then, with the return to democracy, lots of people have said, well, Nigeria should have been on a better course towards greatness as a nation. But then where are we? 61 years after, as an independent, sovereign nation. What are some of the things that we have continued to deal with as a people? Injustice, poverty, unemployment, insecurity. These are all issues in the front burner of our national life today, and many more. Over time, we've complained, over time, people talk about these things. As much as we want to stay positive and believe that we will get to, El Dorado as a nation, if we do not begin to work and change things for ourselves, we may have a difficult time, coming out of the woods, because it takes decisive action. It takes, deliberate action, not just on the part of government, but also on the part of the citizens, because they always say the people get the governments they deserve. They also say we are a reflection, or our government is a reflection of who we are. So if Nigeria today is characterized by all of these negative index and statistics, what can we do as a people? 61 years after, what have we done in the past? This calls for time, or this calls for reflection, reevaluation, and re-strategization. We need to re-strategize. to put this country back on the right course? We'll be talking about this, analyzing some of the situations this morning. You can send your messages if you have any message, especially as pertains to Nigeria's 61st independence celebration. Send us your messages on 090-9705-4450. What do you want to see as a Nigerian? What reforms, what changes would you expect to see going forward? Put them forward to us. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888.
Eagles Morning Rise. Eagles Morning Rise with
Natural Prince.
You're still onto your radio experience. You can count on Eagles 102.3, 16 minutes past 9 o'clock. We have our guest joining us now, Dr. Unisa Tanko, who is the national chairman of the National Conscience Party, is a presidential candidate in the 2019 general elections. Dr. Tanko, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning, Nigeria, and happy Independence Day.
All right. Also, Tony Elchella would be on the program this morning. Also, joining in with his 2 cents. Tony, good morning again.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so Dr. Tanko, Nigeria at 61. How would you rate our progress? Let's start from there. Happy Independence Day to you as well.
Well, truly, we started with a kind of eager situation where everybody was so happy that we are getting an independent. The colonial master managed that we are due, and then our people really fought for it. So much very diplomatic manner, and then we got it. But unfortunately, we didn't handle it because of our democratic individualistic instinct in terms of tribal, religious, and other sentiments. And that now led to the coup that we have in different periods. The military also came in and started running it with it. So we jump out of democracy, but unfortunately, the democracy too, as we are here, a lot of power who are basically more interested in themselves aside from the interests of building the nation and the people. That has become our rule. But the most important thing is that we have found our voice as a people and we speak in unison in any area in which we find it difficult to understand how leadership is being administered in the country.
Now, Dr. Sanko, you see, we had the presidential address this morning. What do you make of the president's, Independence Day broadcast? There's several issues that he touched on. Which one, stood out for you the most?
For me, it has always been a promise to the Nigerian people. Whether that promise and help my stated to governance, another thing entirely. That to me is one of these, let's continue promising the people, but not really delivering what promises is made to the people. So it's just the same old thing without action being administered on the ground.
Tony, you have a question?
No. What he made is this, that if you make a promise, what's the action? What did you deliver on the promise that you made? I think that's exactly what he was talking about. We have had several promises. We have had, this country has had a lot of promise, given a lot of things that we have. So there are a lot of promises in Nigeria, right? Good. None of them has been implemented, so to speak, because a lot of persons took a lot of things personal, because this is my country, let me do what I want to do. So if you have promises, if you make promises, you should be able to implement on it.
Absolutely. Let's get back to Dr. Tanko. You see, over time, Nigerians have said, well, Nigeria deserves the kind of leaders that it gets. What would be your position on that statement?
Well, because of the attitude of the leaders, and then the way we are being gagged as a people, make that particular statement a confirmed statement. You see, Nigerians were having problems at that leadership. And eventually they got the president at that time. They got Olusegun Obasanjo. At the end of it all, we got Shehu Musa, Jonathan and all. And then here we are with President Buhari. The President Buhari issue is the one that is most interesting because a lot of people were hopeful. People came out in large numbers to unseat President Jonathan because he was not able to handle the issue of security. So we think that is where the demands were, the yearning and the feelings of the people. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way we many people were hoping. Even though people will say that the day is there. So that statement really comes to affect or kind of confirm the action of that particular student is going to be confirmed by the inability of the people to get what they want. So, therefore, in a way, they've not been able to really say that the person that they supported has been able to deliver to them. It's a worrying situation for the Nigerian people, really.
Now, you know, looking at our journey as a nation from 1960 to this point, several issues have come up. The Civil War was one that, you know, what you call it now, changed the course of Nigeria. I mean, it's a part of our history forever, and we still see certain issues around that. The agitations in the president's, Independence Day address, he mentioned that the unity of Nigeria. He didn't just mention, he was emphatic about that, saying the unity of Nigeria remains non-negotiable, and that his administration would do whatever it takes, you know, to deal decisively with sponsors and promoters of, you know, secessionist agitations. What do you make of that?
It is the words that people use that innovate people. When we say it is not negotiable, it must be nice. Yes, it's important to be emotional, but you don't enforce it. What responsibility is this? It is the action of the leaders that will transform the unity, and people will gravitate naturally towards it. But once you, as a leader, try to do something contradicting that particular position, you are not carrying everybody along. You are not making position where the people feel comfortable. You are not making sure that those who are aggrieved are being given the opportunity to ventilate. Once they ventilate, they should be able to listen to what they are saying. These are things that really make this thing an actionable position. But once you say it and then you do something different, it becomes a problem. So to me, I think it's contradictory system and it cannot be forced. It's not a military, it's a democratic system. Do what is right for the people.
Very well. The conversation continues here on your radio experience. You can count on, send us your messages on 09097054450. Better yet, call 09073530044 and 09087668888. We'll be talking more. Keep it with us.
Is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green.
Our guest in the house has said, it's not only by saying. We have been adding promises, not only promises. The promises have been coming, let it come to pass. You cannot be continuing sitting there promising us every day, every time. You have promises, which nothing has been done towards the promises. Before being elected as the president, there are some promises you gave. That is why we entrust our life and properties in your care. That, okay, since you care, you can protect us, let's encourage it and what you said to us. But nothing, we will say nothing. All what we can see is banditry, kidnapping and all that. Let's look for solutions to all those things and let Nigeria move forward and stand the plane. Nigeria at 61 is not a baby today. Thank you very much. That's my take this morning. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you, Ayomide, for calling in. Now, Dr. Tanko, Nigeria, 61 years after, is referred to as the capital, poverty capital of the world. With all of the natural resources that we have, Nigeria, they say, is a blessed country, yet we've remained the capital of poverty world over. What did you make of that?
Look, let me be very factual about it. The thing is that we are very endowed as a nation. There's no doubt about it. Is it the technical ability of our people in the southeast? Or is it the management skills that some of our leaders have in the north? Or is it the ability to make sure that comfort is being provided that we have in the southwest? Or is it the integrity that we try to hold within the north central and probably our south-south endowed wealth? So all of this comes together. But the problem we have is that we have not been able to put all of this into one mix. The mix is that so that the people in the southwest can enjoy what northern people have. So that the northern people can enjoy what the southwest have. Or what the south have that north people can enjoy. And then the skill in which our people have in the southeast, we can all benefit from it. Because we now decided to be individualistic because of tribal and religious sentiment. Unfortunately, the leaders that we found in our pattern of leadership were not able to put all of these things together. And that is because of sentiment and greed. If we can eliminate that particular sentiment and greed, there's enough for everybody. The issue of poverty will have been completely wiped out in our nation because we have no business with poverty. I can tell you that authoritatively, because when you look at the wealth that Nigeria has, I mean, I can't believe it. When I was reading some of the profile of Muammar Gaddafi, he opened the Nile for his own people so that they can have water. If you want to buy a new car as a Libyan, 50% of it is being taken off. If you are getting married, you have $5,000. If you are giving birth, if you are getting married, you have $50,000. If you are giving birth, you have $5,000. The dedicated account from the food oil making that they are the resources that they are making directly to the account of every citizen. We can do more than that as a nation. All we need to do is to look at it and say, look, we can provide for every Nigerian based on our resources, and all of our people who can also work together to add more, because we have the endowment, we have the population that can be put into work. So we are going to do that. And anybody that is trying to proceed very well, none of the people that is here for skill. In fact, it's not today is dead, it's not need a finger, not talk about winning anyone problem. So why is the rush? Why would somebody want something to have making billions of naira at the day that interest of people cannot even take the $200 in their home? And it doesn't take anything out of you. So it is the greed in some of the leadership that has led us to this particular issue that we cannot provide for everybody. How many are we? We're talking about a country that people who have to go. It's about 200 million. China is about 1 billion. Even though they have a larger one man. But the management of the resources matters. How we prioritize our interests so that people will believe that we are doing it for the interest of everybody. So all of them can now work in unison and then be productive to the interest of the Nigerian people. That is what we need. And if we neglect a leader of that particular caliber who has that particular capacity, we will be happy and Nigeria will be great. More than even what we have. And so then the international community, majority of them are not interested in our unity. Because they know if we are united and we work together as a team, we will be a great nation. And so whatever they do, they benefit from our division. And they will continue to infuse it and bring ideas and making us look as if we are stupid. And but we are not. By good people, we have the capacity to rule our country and make it great for everybody. All we need is that we need to put it into practice.
Very well said. Now, Dr. Tanko, we cannot talk about Nigeria and leave aside the issue of corruption. It has been said to have eaten so deep into the fabrics that the ordinary Nigerian across the world is considered, one level of threat or another when it comes to, trust. Nigerians are hardly trusted even across the world. How do we as a nation begin to change the perception of the international community, and also change ourselves to become better people, moving away from corruption that is eating so deep into the economy and the fabrics of this country?
All I need to do is make my country a beautiful country, an attractive bride. Then people will respect me and love me. What I mean by that is this. When I'm paying a civil servant a salary of less than 100,000 naira, and I'm expecting you to pay for his security, I'm expecting you to pay for his children's school fees, I'm expecting you to take care of his health, I'm expecting you to take care of other logistics that's fundamental for human survival. And then I started with the responsibility of 1 billion or 2 billion naira as a working tool, money that belongs to the general house. What I'm already opening him up is opening him up for saving, because his income cannot take care of those particular needs. So leaders or whoever finds himself in position of power must show empathy, must show love, must show care to the people. When you do that, you are encouraging them to be biased and to be less corrupt, because all they need has been taken care of. But the system we run here is that we continue to guide the people, targeting the people, continue to give very difficult policies that will make their life miserable. So even if they find themselves in a position of collective wealth, what they do is that they dip their hands into it. So the fundamentals that we need to use in taking care of corruption, we are not doing it. We're only scratching it on the surface. And corruption cannot go away in that manner. Look, if you want to stop a child from stealing a meat in a pot, it's making sure that whenever you are serving him food, he is well fed, and anytime you request for it, it is there for him to take. So don't even look at your pot, because you know he can easily get. So that is how leadership is being done. But here we are, as a people, our leaders, unfortunately, they themselves are highly corrupt, and then they'll be talking about the people that are being corrupt. So you have to detach yourself from doing what is wrong and still going against and grandstanding and saying that you are doing the right thing and you don't do that. A clear-cut example happened to us in Kano, which I find so very infuriating. A young lady who happened to be in the industry, of film industry, was drafting in a party on Northern, let me use the word. And then she was being castigated almost out of the whole city. She comes from a poor background. But here again, we have daughters of the highest position of the state who is getting married, behaving in a worse manner. You do not deal with that particular person for doing almost similar thing of that girl, but yes, you are castigating that and you are justifying the others. So where is fairness in that? Where is equity in that? Where is fairness in that? So these are some of the things that our leaders do. They don't use themselves as an example, to shine as an example so that others will follow. If you do that as a leader, obviously the people will follow you and they will do the right thing. And corruption will be out of our system. But we are not taking it in the right direction. I'm sorry to say.
All right. Join the conversation 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. For WhatsApp and SMS, make them to 090-9705-4450. Don't also forget the recharge is still on the table this morning for our callers. You're doing a giveaway this morning to mark the independence. Now, Tony, the president mentioned something in his Independence Day broadcast where he said he made mention of the media and reporters and saying the media should do what you call it responsible journalism as well as investigative reportage, so that we just don't have follow irresponsible remarks and put them out there for the people.
I don't even want to get there, because I think that you're a reporter, right? And I'm a reporter too. Good. So I think about the best practices, right? So if the president is saying that we are not doing the right thing, let him show us the way. But I don't want government like what was his name said. If I'll better have media than government, because government try to manipulate the media. They are doing it all over the place, and you and I we are witnesses to it. So government should not tell us how to run the media, because the media is better than the government. I'm underlining it. The media is better than the government, because if we don't show, if we don't say certain things, they will not know that they are erring, and that's the truth, and that's the fact. So if the president, whoever says that the media is getting,
and the responsible media holds the government
accountable. Which one is responsible? How do you define responsible media?
Oh, hold on, Tony. Let's go. We have Dr. Tanko. Dr. Tanko, the elections in Nigeria have been characterized by a lot of irregularities over time, and just in a few months now, we would be heading for general elections. Anambra elections coming up very soon. Nigeria at 61. Should we still be talking about, sharp practices during elections and, all of these irregularities that we experience during our elections?
Now, quickly, I would like to add to the issue of the press. Look, the media reports what he or she sees on the street. If the government is doing the right thing and the people are saying it, the media have no choice than to report what it sees. The media is only reporting the action. And if anybody is to blame in this particular government, it's even their miscommunication. The president says this, and his own media says another thing differently. So you don't even know which one to believe. So I think without a doubt, this administration really needs to put it out in order in how to reach out information. They are not communicating with the people in the right direction. I may go to say. So with regard to the issue of election, look, the INEC is trying to do its best to clean up our system. We were all privileged to see what happened in Ondo and Edo, where they use the GPAD, because some of the areas in which we have been having problems with the elections is the collation center. The collation center is where the every ward election is being collected into the local government, and within the center, figures that come out like 1 in the morning will come out in the evening, the students become 100. And so we've not been able to find solutions to it. But INEC has been able to understand that the collection center is becoming a more or less a collection of fraud. So they eliminated it by introducing this particular part, where the election in Ondo and Edo was almost 100% result accurate. And then here we are saying that the certification of election should be made electronically, meaning that it can even do a manual and electronically. When the result is being taken from the work, INEC will see the result, snap it, and send it to their server and collect the report within a short period of time. And here, the National Assembly is saying no and subjecting the national the electoral empire to the wings and capitals of NCC, where the same people have the same power under Section 78 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. How do you reduce the National Electoral Commission into that particular National Assembly and NCC? It is not obtainable. In fact, to tell you the truth, that is why this morning, at our team in the National Consultative Front, a forum for all Nigerians, we are addressing the issue of the need to demand for that electronic transmission of results. This situation is what we are going to deal with. These are our message to Nigeria. We must get the right thing done so that we can get the right people in the right place, so that if you vote, you will be sure that it's the person that you vote for that counts. And that is how elections are done anywhere in the world. And that, of course, translates into good leadership, or at least accountable leadership. When you vote for somebody, you know there's the person that you vote for.
Okay, Dr. Tanko, let's bring in a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Uncle Joe from Kuji.
Uncle Joe, it's good to have you. Happy Independence Day.
Thank you. I wish you well. To the same thing to you. Now, what the president rightly said, that journalists should investigate what I call investigative journalism to be sure they are before they report out. You will agree with me that almost 90% of the media houses today get their information that from social media, like you now, Mr. Hanato, you get something from the presidency from the social media. Do you think if you go to Aso Rock, you open the gate wide for you to go there and confirm that information, or from NNPC or from other areas, and the information managers ready to open their doors open for journalists to confirm and investigate those reports you saw on the social media? Of course, you know the answer. And you will left to now rely on what you get on social media. So I think our information managers, they are the top. So please be able to talk to Nigerians. As a matter of fact, even the president himself needs to come out time to time to talk to Nigerians. In that way, we get the best of information so that we will not rely solely on the social media. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Uncle Joe, for calling. And now, Dr. Tanko, as we close, we have just a few more minutes to wrap this up. As we close, what would you want to see change in Nigeria? What are, what reforms would you want to see Nigeria embark on, going forward?
Well, one of the things is about the electoral reform, and then the leadership. Mr. President needs to be more visible to the people in areas where they are hurting. And then Mr. President also needs to listen to the people. Where there is any outreach and cry, Mr. President is supposed to respond almost instantly, or his age, where it is necessary, they should respond. That will give the people some level of trust and confidence in the leadership. And as we get towards elections, I want to appeal to Nigerians. We have no other country than this country. So even if you decide to visit this country, as some of the people who are visiting, you cannot visit the land. The land remains the same. And even if you decide to go out and fight and be killing yourself, at the end of it, or what they will tell you, they'll just give you like 6 months and say you go back to the round table. And the round table is where you will decide, or I say, oh, this person will become, or we have to vote for so person. You see, the word vote comes in. So why dissipate energy when you have the power in your hands? While we approach 2023, let us use our collective voting cards to select leaders that can transform our country for the better. These leaders will not necessarily be those who are in the presidency. No, let's start from our wards. Let's start from our councillorship. Let's use the local government. Let's use the state assembly members. Those who have the capacity. We defect into the governor. We select the House of Reps member, we select the senator, and then eventually the president. If we get the right people without really asking them to give us Maggie and Rapper and all of this stuff, we can hold them accountable to what they are doing. And that is how we can build a nation. And a united nation that all of us will be happy under our own interests, but not under a direct by anybody whatsoever, but within our collective interest.
Very well. Hello, good morning. Hold on. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Paul. Please, Paul, we have less than 1 minute. Go ahead, let's hear you quickly.
Please, I don't want to wish Nigeria happy independence. And I don't have a complaint this morning.
Okay.
I don't want to talk much about this independence thing. You know how they mark independence, that they break everywhere. Even all from the Marabanya Road, what they call the 1 million Marabanya Road to Eagle Square. They blocked us from morning. We are still on the queue. We are still on the hot sun. Is that how they celebrate democracy? Is it part of democracy that they block everybody on the road? And from Marabanya Road, there's no linkage between Marabanya Road and Eagle Square. There's no linkage. So I don't know what is the rationale behind security people blocking Marabanya Road. They only say that we are supposed to be a bit free to move into town and do our work. What kind of thing is it? Democracy?
Very well, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling in. Dr. Eunice Tanko, National Chairman of the National Conscience Party, NCP, as well as presidential candidate in 2019 general elections. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. God bless Nigeria.
And happy Independence Day to you too. Thank you, Tony, as well, for sharing thoughts with us.
But I don't understand why. Just for a minute.
Tony would have to wrap this up. Yes.
Okay, let's wrap it up now. Why were they flogging people in the morning? I was there. I saw them.
It's a part of the celebration. Olije, good morning. Happy Independence. She's putting on.
How can you be slapping?
She has a green on.
Oh, I don't.
How can you be flogging people on Independence Day?
Mr. Tony is still talking.
I'm very angry.
Don't be angry. Don't be angry. This is Independence Day. We're celebrating. All right.
Celebrating what? How can you be flogging people on Independence Day?
Thank you so much for being a part of it, Olije.
I think this green is not. This is not our green.
It's green. Is it green? It's green. It's green. The land is green.
I'm hearing why.
Stick around with us on your radio experience. You can count on business news, business news, and right up to now, Olije takes over 102.3 Extra. Happy Independence Day again, Nigeria.
Eagles 102.3.
Eagles 102.3 makes good radio.
Are you ready for this? Brace yourself up for the new sound of radio. Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Welcome to Eagles 102.3 News Beats.
Here is the business news beats. Nigerians spent 445.4 billion naira on debt servicing payments in the second quarter of this year. The latest data obtained from the debt management. Nigerians spent a total of 322.7 billion naira on domestic debt servicing, while 122.7 billion naira was spent on external debt servicing. The exchange rate of the Central Bank of Nigeria as of September 30th was used for the external debt servicing. For domestic debts, Nigeria spent 258 billion naira in April and 42.4 billion naira in May and 22.3 billion naira in June. A breakdown of the statistics shows that the federal government spent a total of 322.7 billion naira on the payment of interest, with 50.3 billion naira expended on the redemption of matured Nigeria Treasury bills between April and June 2021. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, on Thursday disclosed plans of the federal government to make the internet cheaper and more affordable. Pantami, who disclosed this at the 10th edition of the Nigerian Internet Governance Forum, organized by the Nigerian Communications Commission, held in Abuja, added that the government was working to ensure that the average price of broadband goes down to enable low-income earners to afford it. The minister said the issues responsible for increased cost of production, such as tax, law, and the security of information communication and technology infrastructures, were being addressed. According to him, there is a lot to be done in terms of broadband penetration because as it is today, in rural communities, only 10% globally have access to fixed broadband infrastructure. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Thursday announced the postponement of the planned unveiling of the country's digital currency, e-Naira. The spokesman of the CBN, Mr. Osita Unwanisobi, announced this in a statement on Thursday. Unwanisobi explained that the CBN took the decision to postpone the launch, which had been initially planned to coincide with the independence anniversary, in deference to the mood of the national rededication to the collective dream of one Nigeria. While assuring that there was no cause for alarm, he said the CBN and other partners were working round the clock to ensure a seamless process that will be for the overall benefit of the customer, particularly those in the rural areas and the unbanked population. The Minister of Trade and Investment, Niyi Adebayo, has announced plans by the federal government to collaborate with the investors to implement backward integration programs across key selected priority products. These products include palm oil, sugar, cassava starch, cotton textiles, and garments. Adebayo disclosed this on Thursday during his address at the second Anderson African-Europe Bridge Conference held virtually. He noted that the announced implementation of the ministry's backward integration program across key selected priority products, namely palm oil, sugar, cassava starch, cotton textiles, and garments, saying the government was prepared to collaborate with investors to achieve its mandates. The National Bureau of Statistics has said that 86.1% of youths lack access to finance their businesses. The Bureau, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, disclosed this in its National Youth Survey 2020 report. It added that 4.9% said inconsistency in government policies was a major problem for their business. 4.6% disclosed that obsolete equipment did not allow them to thrive, while 3% said lack of proper training hampered their business growth. The report said at zonal level, most youths from all the zones reported the challenge of financing their businesses. Youth Southwest topped the list, followed by Northeast, while youths from Southeast were the least. It added that youths from North Central faced the challenge of obsolete equipment for their businesses, followed by youths from Southeast, while youths from Southeast reported inconsistency in government policies as a major challenge that is affecting their businesses. The country external reserves rose by $2.4 billion in September, figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria revealed on Thursday. According to the CBN, the reserves, which stood at $34.2 billion as of the end of August, rose to $36.41 billion as of September 2021. That's the business news. I am Elizabeth Adeturu. Good morning.
Thanks for listening. Join us again for more updates on Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Eagles Laugh Lounge is about to go down.
Join the most hilarious talents live on radio as they crack you up
and battle to become the #1 comedy act
on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Eagles Laugh Lounge begins August 31st to September 30th, 2021.
Tuesdays to Fridays, 12:30 p.m. on 102.3 Extra and 6 p.m. on the Sunny Side Show.
Make sure to vote for your favorite candidate on our social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram at Eagles FM Abuja.
Eagles Laugh Lounge. Let the battle of laughter begin.
It is about that time.
The weekend is here.
Yeah.